All right, welcome in everybody. Jason here, TCP Supersystem. Got a good one for you today. We went through our charts and I have identified some either new opportunity zones or have updated our opportunity zones since our last rapid fire, which is on Friday night. So I think you'll enjoy this one. Again, the TCP Supersystem, I created it. This is all original content. Can't find this anywhere else. It's not publicly available. So if you like TA on cryptos and stocks and want something you can't get anywhere else, this may just be the channel for you. This is not your typical RSI, MACD stuff that most people put out there. This is a system that I've built over 2 to 3 years to identify opportunity zones in both cryptos and stocks. And again, the system signals, alerts, interpretations, my trades may not be suitable for you, are not recs to buy or sell, not financial advice. Please consult a licensed advisor before taking any action. With that said, I do want to start with Bitcoin today because we actually did. This is one of the ones where we updated the opportunity zones. And I've got something I want to show you, which is pretty awesome. So today is October 19th. But before I get into the charts that you see on the screen, and let me pull this back so you can actually see it. Again, daily on the left, weekly on the right. But I want to show you this quick video. It's like just a couple seconds of a video I put out late September. Check this out. This was from, does it have the date on here? Let's see. Yeah, over 3 weeks ago. And this is me looking at the Bitcoin leverage liquidation heat map. I just want to, and we had called out, you can go back and look at the other videos. We called out a zone for Bitcoin of 105 to 108. And I think Bitcoin was trading much, much, much higher. So, but this is just one of those associated videos. So check this out. You see this right here? This is 108,500, 106,850. So let's just call it 106 to 108 to be fair. So $2,000 range. We're at 109,346 right now. There is some really light leverage down here, but let's just say 105. All right, so 105 to 108. Okay. I mean, we're essentially almost there. Not quite. That 200-day moving average on Bitcoin is your $105,000 level, basically. So that would be a very interesting level for us. I would call that one hell of an opportunity zone. Typically, it serves as a level of major support. Short-term, medium-term hot sensors are negative now, level zeros out of 5. All right, so you saw that there, and I want to show you something. And now we have moved what we had identified as an opportunity zone. It's actually a little bit lower now based on the new leverage zones. But I do want to show you this. The bottom of that candle got to 104,060. So, pretty damn remarkable if you ask me. Now, based on our most recent data, we have identified some new zones, which I'll call out today on October 19th. That is basically going to be your 100 to 102 level. There's some leverage down here, so it depends on if we just see a straight up rotation out of Bitcoin ETFs into like some of these newer ones that are coming, like XRP, HBAR, etc. I think you can still see Bitcoin come lower. And then on the upper side, though, there's a lot of leverage on the upper side. So I think, I'll be honest, I'll say this. I wouldn't be shocked to see us pump back up here to this 126 to 130 range before we come back down here to 100. The reason I say that is if you look at our standard deviation methodologies on the daily side, you see this white line right here? That's our slow line. It's trying to penetrate up through that green opportunity zone. If it penetrates up to the red, we might be off and running. So we got to watch this here. In the hot sensors on the daily view, all these are in the white. It actually, on the long term, it just crossed back over the midline, but now it's still white, so it's basically the normalized trading zone. So we are kind of in no man's land on Bitcoin, but I want to show you this interpretation as well. A lot of times, what you will get is this downturn. Obviously, that 200-day moving average will typically be support. We'll bounce right back to the bottom of that cloud, and then we'll resume down. Now, does it resume that retracement every single time? No. It's going to be dependent upon what happens right here. And that's going to take place over the next probably 3 to 4 days. So by the time the middle of the week comes, we should have some more videos for you because we should have some type of a little more concrete evidence on which way we think it can go. But again, we've identified these zones 100 to 102 and roughly 128 to let's just say 130 on the upper end. That would definitely be an area of some liquidation up there. So those are the areas we're watching on Bitcoin. Again, it's the same zones over here. This is where it's going to play out too. On the weekly view, though, that 100 to 102 zone, that's roughly your 50-day moving average, and then obviously here's your new upside zone at 128 to 130, and you can see what I'm going to actually start doing is leaving the previous identified zones that we identified. So like this right here, you can see we absolutely crushed it. It nailed it literally right in the middle of our zone, and that's where zoomed down. And if you look at if we hadn't moved it, you would have seen that we were straight up in the middle of our zone on the bottom side too at 105 to 108. So, but we will start leaving these on here so we can see over time how accurate we really are. So that's Bitcoin for now. So again, we're showing some weakness because if you look at this weekly chart, again, you've got our fast line that's approaching the lower extremes. It'll tend to trend there for a few days or a few weeks at least. The orange and blue on the weeklies penetrating back through that red zone, that is not a sign of strength. So, and you can see they're deteriorating on the hot sensors coming back toward that midline, and we've got a crossover on the short term. So this is, we could definitely see some weakness here on Bitcoin. So we'll see. On that daily view, though, what I would expect to see is it approach that bottom of that little cloud there and then resume down based on all this. So that's my Bitcoin analysis today. Again, not financial advice. And I got some really good ones today, so I hope you stay tuned to the end because we got some really good updates on APTOS, Cardano, and some other ones as well. But we're going to try to get through these as quick as we can. This might be a long video, but again, if you want any specific cryptos or stocks, just put the symbols in the comments. We will try to get to them and just do one-off videos for you if we can, but no promises there. So XRP, again, this is one we communicated on Friday in our rapid fire that we do have some new zones identified here. We got 214 to roughly 223, which we actually did bounce right off of that. So we actually kind of hit that zone already. But we've already identified something on the high side here about I'm basically calling it 315 to 323. That's where we're going to see some activity, I think. And check this out. This is a little bit better representation. If you look at XRP, our white line has now penetrated up through the green zone with our orange and blue line still at or below the lower extremes. That is a key sign there. And if that white line doesn't just revert back down and it continues, again, we want it to be up through the red. In the next few days, if it can get up through the red, XRP may be off and running. And again, we all know the ETFs are coming. If the government can get their act together and get back in office and stop the shutdown, then I think we would expect to see a bunch of ETFs. I think there's more than 10 pending right now for spot. And that could really drive billions of dollars in demand. So XRP is probably looking pretty good here. Again, if you, just like we said, we saw the downturn, we saw the bounce right back here to the cloud. So we're in no man's land. So I'd still urge you to be careful. And over the next couple of days, since XRP is one of our biggest holdings, we will continue to monitor these indicators and bring you, when we really think it's special. We're just not quite there yet, but we're getting much closer on that one. All right, H-bar, nothing too much there. Cardano, so here's Cardano for all those that are into ADA. We actually released some shorts recently. They're doing a lot of stuff there. There was an article on CoinMarketCap talking about Cardano's massive expansion into Europe and South America, and then there's some other events coming up like something in Berlin. I forgot the name of it now, but a lot of stuff going on with Cardano. So pay attention to that one. And you can see here, excuse me, both the daily and the weekly here, we nailed our zone here at roughly 60 cents. And we've already identified on the upper side for Cardano, 90 to 95 cents is where we think we're probably bouncing to next when we get this upturn. And look at this one. This is looking even better than Cardano. I mean, this is even looking better than XRP on our daily right here. Make sure you can see that. The white line's actually already penetrated up through the green zone. So if it continues on that trajectory, I think Cardano could easily. We'll see if we can get through this cloud. You never really want to trade on anything when it's in the cloud. It's just an area of. I'm always hesitant to do that. There could be a lot of volatility in here, but again, again on the weekly too, we bounced right off that opportunity zone, which was just so happened to be roughly the 200-day moving average. The hot sensors are getting weaker. We're in the gray. It's deteriorating on this upside. It hasn't crossed over yet. It's deteriorating on the long term on the weekly. So we'll see if we resume higher. So and keep in mind that weekly, it's a longer term view. So those hot sensors are going to look different than what you see on the left hand side, which is your daily. So keep that in mind. And on the daily, we actually are seeing improvement, which is makes me feel more positive about Cardano. But again, historically we're at a volatility spot here with the bottom of this cloud, so we need to watch what happens. And again, this will be one we continue to monitor. If we can just get up through that red zone, we'll be off and running. So pay attention there. Transparency, big holders of Cardano as well. So if people come at me in the comments, we don't sell Cardano, we don't sell XRP, and we don't sell HBAR. No matter what our system says, we simply use these opportunity zones to keep adding. So keep that in mind. Let's keep going here. Not those. I'm not interested in those. I'll go. All right, here's APTOS. So we just updated APTOS. I want to show you this. It's so crazy. Man. Now this is a big zone. I don't know why. I need to shrink this up. We can get much more targeted than this wide zone. But you can see here, we updated this just a moment ago. On this downturn, you can see we're bouncing right out of that opportunity zone. Again, we had a level 2 diamond. Again, level 3s are the absolute best. Level 2s are decent. And again, usually we'll go sideways or back up to the bottom of this cloud, and then from there we'll need to watch it. Now again, this one doesn't look as good as XRP and Cardano. Our white line is still well below the green opportunity zone here. It's still trending down here in these extremes. So I would feel better about the other two than APTOS at the moment. However, on APTOS, we're currently trading at 322, and we got a top of our zone down here at 297 and 260. So somewhere down here, I really want to watch that level. And then on the upside, once we get our bull run back in place here, we're looking at like 560. That's almost 100%, or well, not quite 100%, but I mean that's a nice return there. We can hit that pump. So we're going to be watching this one. And again, you can see here on the weekly, when you see these wide clouds, it narrows out and it resumes lower. That's really not good. But I want to show you this. Here we go. Check this out. This is the weekly on APTOS. Where are we at in the medium-term hot sensor? We're in a red. We have a level 3. And then over here we're getting level 2s. I won't say that's an absolute bottom, but we're getting damn close. I can tell you that. Now, what we're going to want to watch here, again, we're going to want to watch this white line. If it starts trending, if it flips back and starts going higher through that green zone, I think APTOS may be off and running here back to the 560 range. So watch that. Granted, if you think back about the last couple of weeks, we can get these charts where you see multiple weeks of these dark level 3 diamonds. So just because we have a level 3 doesn't mean it's going to bounce right away. And that's why we need to watch this on the daily more specifically, because I think it's going to trend here sideways to maybe a little bit higher to the bottom of that cloud, and then we're going to have to make a decision and see which way it goes. And what will tell us which way we're probably going is this standard deviation mean reversion methodology. So again, I told you to start the video, we're in kind of no man's land on a lot of these, but we are getting some signals. We know the fear factor is very high, right? Most people are getting scared out of their mind, getting fudded out of their positions. ETFs are coming, inflows are coming. So just understand the game, because this is how this stuff works. And then people get upset and call it a scam and fraud because they got fudded out because they listen to media and don't really do their own research. So, yeah, I'm just a crazy guy on the internet with one hell of a system. So you don't have to listen to me, but I'm just sharing to help educate and inform. So that's APTOS. I like it. Um, just not quite ready to pull the trigger here, but there is some nice opportunity. And actually, yeah, well, APTOS is one we actually already have a position in. Again, remember, if you see a dark green line like this, that's where we're in. And you can see we got in at 451. So we're down. I mean, hell, it's 321. So to me, because of that, I'm going to probably, I mean, I am going to go ahead and dollar cost average here because we're starting to hit level threes on the weekly. So that'll bring my cost down. So that's what I would be doing for me. Doesn't mean it's right for you, but that is what I will be doing. So probably over the next week or so. Let's go to Avalanche. Avalanche. It's interesting. Okay. So Avalanche isn't looking too bad here. We've already had our downturn. We've got a little bit of separation here. We're bouncing right out of that zone again, right back to that cloud. So we're here at an inflection point. The white line is trying to penetrate the green. No, sorry, not quite there yet. So again, a lot of these we got to watch real closely because the next few days, probably 2 or 3 days, we should start seeing some action either way. Again, on the weekly, the same zones. Not really telling us a whole lot there. I mean, the hot sensors are getting weaker. So again, it's probably more pointed to the downside for the time being than up, but we need to watch it. B&B. 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 Yeah, I just don't like B&B. I think I told y'all the last couple days back. I think it's going to 830 to 840. Again, on the daily and the weekly are kind of contradicting each other. So yeah, that makes me not even like it even more. Because on the weekly, we got basically almost all three hot sensors are red. We hit the zone. We're coming down. It took a huge hit. Again, this is that zone down here. We've got. Oh, okay, we must have moved it. So now we've got it identified at 980, basically. So still think it could go lower. The white line here is coming back up. Now, one thing that looks a little different on B&B, I will say, man, this is ugly. This is improving. So long term is actually degrading. Short term is improving. So you got to be careful here. And you can see right here on the daily, we're starting to get that. We actually did get a confirmed downtrend signal with that yellow label. The cloud is now just transitioning to red. And that's where you got the pump down, the retracement back to the bottom of this cloud the next few days, and then boom, probably lower. So be careful here on B&B. Again, not financial advice, but yeah, just seeing this, I don't like it. That's just me. Let's see what else we got here. Doge, yeah. Filecoin. There's a little Doge doggy. So Filecoin. Ooh. Okay, now. Let me pull something up here on Filecoin. Hang on a second. I don't know if we have leverage data for that or not. We do. This is interesting. So we're going to do this live. So it's already really come down. Now, granted, the bottom would be around $1.30. Yeah, I don't like this. Which means it could probably move, to be honest. Sorry, not feeling too well today. So here on Filecoin, I mean, on the weekly, we got 2 level 3 diamonds now with red on the downside. So that's typically where I'd make a move, ladies and gentlemen. Um, I mean, you can see we nailed the level threes. Let me see if I can expand this for you. We nailed the level threes up here at 789, and we started getting level three green diamonds here. It's kind of trended side. I mean, we're basically trending sideways. That 243 to now it's at 154. We're getting them again in the red zones, and you can see back here these level threes here, and this is how you can stay out of these trades. And this is why it does a remarkable job for me. When we were getting these level threes here on the weekly, we're not red. We're yellow, blue, maybe orange here. We're red on the long term, but that thing can stay red forever. Um, so that's how you know it really wasn't ready. Plus, this didn't really tell you that it was ready. But look how low this is now. This is extremely low on the weekly. And our daily is improving. We're going from orange to yellow, blue. Well, that blue is that blue, blue to, well, blue to yellow is actually worse, but orange to yellow is better. Yellow to blue is better. So a little bit of inconsistency here. And again, we keep telling you volatility around the bottom of the clouds. So be careful here. It can go back lower, but we're close here on Filecoin. Really close. We're approaching the green zone with our standard deviation mean reversion. We need it again to get to that red zone and higher, and this thing could burst. So yeah, this for my portfolio, this would be where I'd probably begin. I would probably begin scaling in here. I'll have to go look at what our capital position is and see if we want to make a move here. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is close to a bottom for Filecoin. Hang on one second. There we go. So yeah, I like Filecoin here, but that's just me. So we'll keep going here. Man, look at all those green diamonds. Goldfinch. Oh, here we go. The graph. So this is kind of a chain link kind of play, Oracle type stuff. See what we got here. I think there's better options than this, but still, you can see in our system, I mean, this is probably a great opportunity here. We have a zone here identified at about the 5 cent range, and we actually dipped below that, and we got a level two level twos back-to-back weeks here. Then on the upper side, our upper levels only identified around 8 to 9 cents. So I mean, you're talking about, with something 6 cents. I mean, that's 50% returns. So I mean, that's pretty good. And you'll notice these level twos are occurring when our mean reversion is at the lower extremes. We're red on medium and long term. We're declining on the short term, which we start seeing orange and red here real quick. Great opportunity, I think, for people that are into the graph. We are seeing some improvement on the daily hot sensors, so that's positive. But again, we're at that volatility zone, no man's land. So we need to see what it does. Now, I will say this, and again, it's the same thing on all these. We're in the green zone here, and it looks strong, like it's trying to penetrate through. So if it can get up into that red, and that's where we'll get some price action to the upside. So watch out there. But again, red cloud, that's a confirmed downtrend. It has not flipped over yet, so we're going to need that to flip. Let's look at chain link. Okay, got some opportunity zones identified for chain link, for those link marines out there. On the low side, we've got 1485 to roughly, let's just say 1550. So somewhere around, let's just say $15, give or take. On the upper side, we're looking at roughly 24, basically 24. And again, we see some improvement in the daily hot sensors. We're trending back toward the bottom of the cloud, which is also the 200-day moving average. So that's a lot of support right here. So we'll see what happens. And that white line, again, penetrating into that green zone. So that's improving. While at the same time, on the weekly, we're coming down into these extremes. Now, we'll say in the weekly, each move is a week. So, in terms of price action, that can be a long time, but it tends to go back up quickly compared to like where on the daily you can get a long drawn out trend in these extremes. You're not really going to get a long drawn out trend in the extremes in the weekly historically. But I do want to show you this. Let me look at this. Yeah. So see the long-term view, short-term hot sensor on the weekly. It just crossed over the midline. That's negative. We're deteriorating, going from red, orange, green, gray, white. We're fixing to cross over on the medium. We're deteriorating on the long term. We are below the midline on all three of the dailies. So that's not good. So again, we'll see if the pressure remains here. Again, we're at that no man's land location here at the bottom of that cloud, which is not where I like to trade. So this one I would let play out a little bit longer. And again, the next probably 4 to 5 days here, we'll see where we're at. But yeah, not looking that great for Chainlink at the moment. But again, I think Chainlink's a massive player in the space. 5 years from now, is $17 likely your price? Probably not. So, but just opinion. Near. Yeah, it probably looks the same as all the rest. See, ONDO. Kind of surprised by ONDO a little bit. Again, you can see we're in at 102. It's at 71 cents, 74 cents right now. We are getting to level 1 on the weekly. Again, back on the daily, turning right back to the bottom of the cloud. So where a lot of these are, this is just a volatility zone. So I'm just, again, daily's improving, weekly is degrading. So, wouldn't be willing to, I wouldn't want to add more to it just yet. But I do want to get that daily, my average cost down a little bit. If I get that below $1, I think that's fantastic for ONDO. So that's what I'll be looking to do. I still think there's room to the downside here, but we'll see what happens in the short term. But again, ONDO is another big tokenization play. So I mean, I like ONDO. Obviously, the Biddle Fund and BlackRock and all that stuff. So I mean, it's got a lot going for it. But so that's ONDO. Let's go look at a few more here. Solana. Let's see what Solana's doing. Did we upgrade our position here? Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, I'll leave that one. VeChain. Let's look at VeChain for a minute. Yeah. Stellar Lumens. Interesting. Yeah, I'll be honest, Stellar. I like Stellar. I actually want more Stellar. I do think there's some weakness here, though. Although we're seeing the same kind of trend, the daily's improving, weekly's deteriorating. There's just going to be a lot of pressure, I think. This 200-day moving average is now resistance, which will be right at the bottom of that cloud. And, you can see on the weekly, we got the 100 days down here around 23, 200 days around 18. So, yeah, there's definitely could be some pressure to come here on XLM, which would be, if it gets down to 18, I'd be screaming at it, but we'll see. I would like to see some diamonds on XLM before I go jump the gun on this one, but there's that. That may be all the cryptos for today. This is the stock, America's Gold and Silver Corporation. I will go over this one because I got a buddy I'm helping with this one. And I'll say this, 420 was where I had been telling some friends of mine hey, you might want to be careful here. I think it's going to drop. I did go a little bit higher than that. It got up to almost $5 here. It did. But you can see we got a bunch of level 3 diamonds here on the weekly. And look at this. This is one of those prime cases. One, I think gold has overshot itself. I think it's peaking out. Just the way the news articles are coming, the way people are talking about gold, it just screams peak, right? And here you've got your weekly, which is your long-term view, which you don't really want to see. This is 3 dark red diamonds. That's our level 3. Red, red, red. Peaking out. That's just screaming at me. Run. And you got the dark blue X's up here, which is really extreme price action, well beyond your mean. So I would think we would see a retracement here. And honestly, best case scenario would be back to the top of the green cloud. Now, this instance, that would be 324, but that will continue to move because these candles are well up here. So, I mean, let's just say 350, but we'll see if I'm right or not. And again, look at the daily here. Again, you got red, red. We don't have any dark red diamonds up here on the daily, but you can see we're already back at the cloud here, just like that's what typically happens when you get a retracement. You start at the top of the cloud. Your next location would be the bottom of the cloud, and then if it breaks that, it's just down here into these other price levels, most likely. And again, we haven't even done that type of move on the weekly yet. So that's why I feel like this is going to come on down. And on our mean reversion data on the daily, you can see, I hope you can see this. Oh, this is perfect. Your white line here, we were trending up here in these extremes. The orange and blue lines, you can see right here, is actually penetrating back through those upper extremes, and that is usually when I'm like, I'll run away, because your white line is deteriorating fast back through the red opportunity zone. The orange is coming back down into the extremes from trending above it. That's just not, there's no strength there. And it's red, 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 red. So but this just screams get out, but that's me. It's not financial advice or recommendations to sell. It's just the opportunity zone, the way I view it. So do what you want. That's just me. Let's see what else we got I can do from a stock perspective. I still like Metaplanet. Again, I keep telling y'all this is my next play for the next 5 to 10 years on the stocks. Again, we're right here at a level where I really like this 277 level. Can it go lower? Maybe. But I really like it here. I mean, we got tons of dark level 3 diamonds on the weekly. We're already down here in the extremes on the weekly and the daily. This thing is starting to improve. I want it to get back to the green here at least. We got a level 2. We're in the red. We're in the orange. To me, that's marking a bottom. And again, this is just like a strategy play, like with Michael Saylor. They basically use credit markets and debt markets to raise capital to buy Bitcoin. And I think they're the 5th largest Bitcoin treasury company in the world, and they're Japanese. So watch out for Metaplanet. Again, that's my stock pick for the next 5 to 10 years. I think you could, my goal there is to get 100x out of that. So that is my goal. My goals may not be suitable for you, so be careful. What else we got? I thought we had something on Arbitrum, did we not? We do. I don't think I went over Arbitrum. So this is Arbitrum, another crypto. Again, we've got some opportunity zones identified here. We're bouncing right off the top of it at the moment. Again, you can see we actually had level 3s on Arbitrum, which is great. We didn't have any red down here. But you can see here, Arbitrum is another one, like I think it was XRP or Cardano. The white line's actually now penetrated above the green and trending toward the red. As long as it doesn't flip over and it continues, Arbitrum, we got our upper opportunity zone around 48 to 51. So watch that, and it's a hell of a return. I mean, you're almost talking about, not quite 100%, but that's nice. That's Arbitrum, so watch out for that one. So yes, Jason, TCP Supersystem, I am your creator. You're not going to find this stuff anywhere else. And I'd be willing to put my predictions and estimations up against anybody else. Again, if you like original TA on cryptos and stocks, please like, share, subscribe if you get value. Go back and check out the videos. They speak for themselves. I think you'll see that we're pretty consistent. Again, I appreciate all the support, all those that have joined over the last couple of weeks. I think we're up some 200 something subscribers, so thank you all very much. And again, if you have anything you want me to take a peek at, run through here, just put those in the comments. And until next time, I hope everyone's blessed. We love y'all. And I hope you know what you hold and understand the game. We'll see you in the next one.